the page that greets me next makes my blood run cold. Oh, for fuck's sake. Hello, Done here. Welcome back to the letter, and if you're new here, subscribe and all that stuff. Without further ado, let's continue. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on a countless binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what is gnawing at me tonight, neither are my sore muscles. TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when the things you're trying to forget keep returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you, eats at you, devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was someone else.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home. Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide. The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
No. Rose?
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her two-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
No. No. This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone has kept telling me, and so why? And I immediately rushed to my study table and searched for my phone. My hand cold from Jared clings tightly to it as soon as it touches its edges. It's the folded paper with the letter lying unassumingly beside it slips to the floor when I pick up a bit of ice. But I paid no mind. There are more important things. Right now, I need to call her. I need to call her. I was with her. I was just with her not too long ago, and she was okay. No. It isn't Rose and Charlotte. I just talked to her, and a sob escapes me. Hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another, they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. Someone that has put the people I care about in danger. My hands shake as I navigate to Rose's number in my contact list. She knows, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer, Rose.
Again and again I dial, whispering, praying, pleading.
Come on, Rose. Don't do this to me. Please pick up. I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
TV runs loudly in the background. A deafening static sounds from my phone speakers. But in my ears I can only hear the screams, her pleas, her whispers. We are not safe. Heck of a way to start this episode. A buzzing sensation jolts me awake. My body still wants to sleep to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. But it's there nudging, prodding at me. Slowly I become aware of how awkward my position is and the aches that accompany sleeping in a curl-up position the night before. Have I even slept at all? The memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. See, it's easier when you say it out loud. Instead, the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone because of me. Gone because of one letter I was too curious to look at. I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have destroyed it before anyone else had gotten involved. I should have. The notification light, my laptop blinks insistently, mockingly when I look at it, as if it's calling me back to a sense of normalcy. I check it and notifies out of habit more than anything. Okay. For all BRC employees and live recent events, there will be an all-staff emergency meeting from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Attendance must and changes new hierarchy and policy while discussing the meeting. Everyone is expected to bring a copy of their own attendance law, sales, and rules for less months to be submitted here. Okay. If this were one of those typical days, I'd happily comply and get myself to our office. Today my lunch should feel heavy. On one hand, going will keep me busy, taking my mind elsewhere. On the other hand, the place itself is a stark reminder of my fears have cost me. I should just Save. I should just save. Gotta work. Moping won't get me anywhere. This is just like one of those things, isn't it? You deal with it with a smile no matter how bad things get and hope for the best. Although my whole body feels like lead, my limbs are sore, I push myself away from the chair and head for the shower. The letter I dropped on the floor last night flutters open as I pass by, unfolding for no one else but me to see. Every word written on it glares back at me. They sneer. They ridicule. Living beings fully aware of what they've done. With a huff, I pick it up and shove it into my bag, perhaps with more anger and frustration than I'm used to showing. It's too I'll deal with. Somehow I'll find a way to make things right. I have to, before it takes more people for me. Even if I must do it on my own. Papers rustling, telephones ringing, feet shuffling. Overall, today looks like a typical workday at Briar Realty Corporation, except it isn't. Airs thick with tension and unspoken questions. Not that everyone present has already heard about Rose. I think missed last night's report that luckily seen in the morning news, and the papers on various news sites on the internet. Everywhere is a bitter reminder. I got difference in why birthers of the mere mention of Rose would be enough to trigger something in me. It's appreciated, but it only serves to create a bigger hole in the place Rose is left. After lunch, my boss calls for a meeting. I don't have to look up from my work to know what it's about. He's in a strange, pensive mood today, probably out of respect for a dead colleague. Oddly, I'd appreciate more if he just shouted at me today. Anything's better.
I'm sure you've all heard of what happened to Miss Cooper. She was a valued member of our team and she will be missed. There's no date for a funeral yet, but those who wish to attend, kindly speak with your respective supervisors. By the way, has anyone heard about our still AWOL staff? None? HR, you know what to do. Santos, a word? In my office?
I've been given the entirety of Rose's workload, including finalizing the rights paperwork, and have been promised an ample compensation for my efforts. I think he's expecting me to be happy about it. Instead, I immerse myself in my work. I have to anyway, if I won't forget. Employee of the month. Time flies when you do, and by the time you've noticed it's already late. Everyone's already gone, leaving me in the company of a radio and a member of our janitorial staff. I don't even know his name. Or as likely does, she remembers people easily
The
like that.
Luxbon Police Department continues its search for the following reported missing people.
30 players, one name after another. Hold on a second. Missing? Oh no. Wait, missing? Aren't they? Still, I have to check. For a ticket, I turn back to my desktop. The laptop tapping my fingers and its keys fills office for the better part of my shift as I look the other way. The background about the place. It's history from the current owners and list of employees hired by her BRC. And I'm right. Of course I am. BRC may have a lot of staff. They may have a lot of agents hired, but I don't remember those names anywhere. And for all, they're also a part of the crew who worked with us in preparing the mission for the open house. And the letters? Oh, they can't be. I hope it's not what I'm thinking.
But Rose is...
Something snaps into place in the fraction of a moment. These people... Rose, the letter...
I need to... No. If it's like this, they still won't believe me. I have to make sure of it first.
Evidence doesn't lie, that's what Ash often says, right? If I have proof, then maybe. I don't want to get my hopes up yet, but maybe there's still a way I can save them. The letter, my phone, papers, anything that will be useful. I grab all of them and stuff them in my bag. I can't stay here. There's something I need to do. There's something those people should. I was cut sharply through the room, stopping my hand from cramming a pen into my bag.
Hello? Anyone there?
Someone must have left their printer open again. I may be in a hurry, but I don't turn it off. Another person is certainly going to have a fit tomorrow for wasted company resources. Most of the time, it's Rose who does the nagging, but the clicking of my pen in my hand is a welcome distraction as I search for the said object. Each stride my feet takes also echoes through the empty workplace. I lost sight of the janitor minutes ago, when with me being going left. The tapping of my feet against the wood floor is something I soon learned to appreciate. It doesn't take me long to find it. By the time I turn off, 5 pages are already strewn about on the floor with paper, tray having also been left ajar. Sighing, I pick up each to put someplace proper. But the page that greets me next makes my blood run cold. Oh, for fuck's sake. The chill that makes its way up my spine is as numbing as the day in the attic. The sheets crinkle under my tense grip. All I can hear is my breathing as it rasps through my gritted teeth. Before I can even gather myself, take the first steps out of there, total darkness suddenly envelops me. Oh, fuck, here we go. As if hearing every horror thought running up my head right now, something snaps. A soft, creaky grating through the thin veil of stillness that has descended in the room. Every muscle every bone in my body goes rigid at the sound. Familiar. So familiar now. Yet my own traitorous curiosity suppressed me. Took a peek around the cubicle's wall. Hey, it's her. Standing in the only exit of the office, albeit facing away from me. She doesn't even need to turn around for me to know it's the same misshapen face, tattered clothes, and unsightly gait. Same person in the attic. I take a step back, kind of moving slips from my hand in. Her entire head turns. The scream almost escapes my mouth as I duck under the table as quickly as I can. My heart is pounding hard against my chest. I can hear the bone-chilling sounds of her walk, the weird clicking that follows her, the telltale squelch or something as she walks towards me. Nearer and nearer. The sounds are slowly getting louder. The only thing keeping the whimper from escaping me is my hand as it covers my mouth. Someone, please, save me. Anyone. I close my eyes, muttering a continuous string of prayers while attempting to steady my own breathing. Please, please don't let her hear me. I fucked up.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Well, as answers my prayer, left me all that remains is hush. None of her footsteps, nor those chilling sounds she makes. Only silence. Is it safe? Another second passes when nothing comes. What? I definitely fucked up. Continue. Okay, it saves me right here. Okay, I think I'm good. The seconds, minutes stretch out before my eyes. Is she gone? So I wait with my eyes to take a peek. Don't dare move or make a noise. Oh my god. In the face of such terror, I can only beg, let out a small, silent plea to whoever is out there. Oh, just, please don't let her notice. I want to live. I am now Hannah? I'm Hannah now? Well, I guess I'm Hannah now. Okay, so intended to just end it here, but this is very short for a video. So I'll just play a little bit of Hannah's side, I guess. It is far too easy to get them to pay attention, enraptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we were honest. If you were downright inappropriate. For all I am.
On a right!
His moment of agitation is familiar. The less unwelcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He has a more loose friend than mine, really, and I am quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke. Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name, but started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxembourg Police, he also had Rochelle Lee Nee Van Rochelle Lee Navance owns a General Electronics company. Fridges and fridges mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favorite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with you.
The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. I just wish Luke is here to fend off more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets and getting close just because my husband is not here. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party. In my own house, if I might add. Like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side, finding his place there. Much to my chagrin. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than we. He is a nice enough person. I adore his wife, who is also the brains behind the two, but there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regaled to me tales of the Luxburn Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to, and though I loathe to admit it, is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, we're in civvies. I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked it in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Though my darling did have his moments.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown? I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale, or that something mansion. You know the one with all the ghost stories.
They're not so much ghost stories. I know what he's talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom.
So we did go back to now Hannah's point of view of this entire story.
I think I have a business card, right? No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well,
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
this is small. This is small. Okay. Of course, she's rich, though, so that's not a surprise. Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for you. What I just fucking said. Okay, maybe a lot of people, but it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. 30 people is a lot of people for a party. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words, not mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? Okay, so I see the timeline. We did go back to the 17th. We were at, I think we were at the 24th. Yeah, 24th. Now it's the 17th. Going back to the 17th. Luke is dressed to the nines as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh, that's a butler? Okay. Oh, sure, that is not wrong. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse considering he won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Oh, and don't worry, I still hate this guy.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere.
So is this kind of like why they're late to that open house?
You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Wonder about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too crucial and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home.
This explains how he was during the open house.
Are we clear?
It's just a bit of a husband and wife tit-for-tat, ain't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the Triad tasting.
Oh, sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an 1.5-hour drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Certainly, any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Why must he treat me this way? You know what, I hate him, and I'm starting to like Hannah more, so...
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want.
What happened? Please tell me it went down. You went up with Luke. Huh. That's interesting.
I'm ecstatic. Understood? And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. we will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Needless to say, looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply, before he crosses his arms to look like, well, a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine? Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
Okay, we'll leave this episode with a letter here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We, I guess, finished a section of the game with Isabella. So, and now we're on to Hannah. Hannah's point of view. So, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Check out all videos that I'll have popped up here, and see you next time. Bye bye.